All right, guys, got a little change up for you this time around. We are looking at Masters of the Universe Revelation. It's a new show on Netflix. It just came out in July 21.
23rd?
Yeah, 23rd. So it's done. It was created by Kevin Smith, who paid homage to the 80s show, He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Which I've never seen that.
Me either. I watched a little bit when I was younger in the morning before waiting for the school bus to get there, but that was big. And I did like it as a show. It was animated by Powerhouse Animation, who also did Castlevania on Netflix. We do have reviews of that. You can see
Video
the links.
series is right there.
All right, up top, we're doing it. So I was interested in it. I wanted to get into Eternia and see what it was about. This is half of the season. They haven't. The second half of the other 5 episodes haven't come out yet. First episode, I think we agree. It was a tough sell.
It was hard for me to keep going. The first thing that happened was the first seconds of the show. You see that TV PG. Look, I like my adult content.
I didn't even know this until you brought it up to me.
Like Castlevania and Invincible, if it's animated, give me something that's gonna not alienate adults, right? And I kind of felt like PG.
We're adults. We watched it, and it was not terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but I'm just saying when I first saw that, I was like, oh, here we go.
Right. Okay, so he got him before really the show got started. I kind of was teetering on the edge when He-Man got killed. Or
at the end of the episode?
Yeah. Like, it was almost cheesy, but let's get real.
But I didn't know any
80s,
characters.
Though, they're cheesy. Those cartoons.
I didn't know any characters going in, and one of the things
God, it feels good, guys, that I'm the one that knew things going into the shows.
One of the things I hated about the first episode was the fact that, okay, I don't know any of the characters, and I feel like the show was catered to people who are fans of it. And if you were coming in and haven't seen anything, you're just not going to get anything. So when Adam died, He-Man, I didn't know his story was a secret. I didn't know that the girl
that he had power.
What's her name?
Teela.
I didn't know Teela. I didn't know what the relationship was. I didn't know that she didn't know that he was He-Man.
Right, so you finally watched a show you didn't have any inkling of what was happening. It was beautiful.
I just didn't like the fact that it kind of alienated new watchers. And I know it's like you have to watch it and keep going. It was just one of those. It was one of those episodes where on the start of a show where it was hard for me to keep going.
Right. So the story really follows. You would think it's He-Man, but it isn't. It follows Teela.
I liked that though.
And yeah, because it honestly, like I went into Master of the Universe, I was ready to see a half-naked Prince Adam running around.
It's about He-Man.
It's about He-Man.
That's all I knew about the show.
First episode, he's gone. Great. So you follow Teela. She's trying to get the Sword of Power. It was broken half when they did that implosion, basically, with Skeletor. And
who's the main enemy of the show? He's the antagonist.
So you have Skeletor and He-Man gone right off this jump, which was cool.
And they're the only 2 characters, I should say. I only knew He-Man. I knew both of them.
Right.
And the fact that they were both going away with, I was like, okay, now they're going to start to tell something that's like not so cliche like it used to be in the 80s. So okay, I like that.
So her job is to get the sword, put it back together, because Eternia's through a magic drought. A lot of things is run by magic, like
everything.
Orko,
the whole planet.
Eva Lynn. But the real thing that really got me, the story was, you didn't know much about it. You grew with the story in the first 5 episodes. I want to say 80% of the cast, to me, are stars.
They all came from Game of Thrones.
And when I heard Liam Cunningham as Man-at-Arms and Duncan,
who was
he's got one of the most recognizable voices to me.
He was Sir Davos in
which was one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was one of the better ones.
Chris Wood, I didn't know much about. He played He-Man, but he wasn't a big part. Teela, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I mean,
I watched the show with my wife, and she picked up. She was like, "Oh, that's Sarah Michelle Gellar."
I know of her. I wasn't a big Buffy fan. Please, Buffy fans, don't kill me.
I watch more Buffy than I watched this show.
I knew her from Scooby-Doo and stuff like that. Those movies. So
I thought she did a good job voice acting.
Her voice to me, my only complaint, big complaint, was I don't think Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice necessarily fit with Teela. Now, when you're looking at Lena Headey from Game of Thrones, who was Queen Cersei.
Yep.
Eva Lynn.
She did a great job, too.
If you would have flipped them and had Lena Headey as Teela and Sarah Michelle Gellar as Eva Lynn, a little bit better. And that's just simple. That was a very minute part of the show to me. But, yeah, like, but we're neglecting the whole thing. You had Skeletor in it for about 30 seconds at the beginning and 30 seconds at the end. That's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Can you get any better than the Joker playing Skeletor, who is an insane...
And he did a good job with that.
He did great.
You could not... Without looking at the cast list, you had no idea that was Mark Hamill.
I've done a lot. I've watched him a lot. Like, if you like watch a couple shows on YouTube, or like where they have his character side by side with his face, you learn, like, and he is amazing. And this is going to kill a lot of people. I've never really seen Star Wars, so I never really liked him as Luke.
Thank you.
I need to get another co-host.
So I grew up, like, I've watched him do voice acting, and, just, in the last 10 years learned of Mark Hamill. But, you're going with it, the story moves on, it picks up pace, episode 2 to 5. It really gets you on a track. You're on a train track now, as opposed to where episode 1 just got you in the Eternia and built a small platform of what it was about. Then Tila took us through the journey, and, went with Andra and Orko.
I like the friendship, that friendship they had.
Yeah, Evelyn almost turned the good. You could see that, like, even at the end, she mentioned that.
So we're getting into characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And so my favorite arc was Lynn's.
Okay.
I liked that she, in the very beginning, you're like, okay, she's going to be the cliche bad guy. But she goes through this progression where you see her evolving. And when she's with Oracle, his real name's not Oracle. It's what his parents named him. What's his name?
Orko.
Orko.
He was cool, funny. Like, I think he played a not necessary. I mean, we lose him.
But her arc to me was to the best.
I think so, and because she almost convinced you
until the last scene, where then she just all those things she said about like powerful people and leading behind them, and then Skeletor reappears and she just does the same thing. So I thought it failed her arc to do that at the last. But
she was Skeletor's buddy.
No, but the whole episode, the whole season was her realizing that the error of her ways of following powerful people and to serve them when she had the power in herself to be a master of the universe. Because without magic,
he was relatively useless.
And
she was just a normal person.
I liked her arc up until the last scene.
Okay, so that's good. I'm okay with that because I think they're going to do much more with her. I think she's going to realize that Skeletor may be following the wrong path.
So you still think in the second half of season 1 she'll still come around?
Or eventually.
That's what I'm hoping for. I really am.
You not knowing any of the characters, you had a lot of your good, your tried and true with, Man-at-Arms. Mm-hmm. You had Beastman. You had Merman. You had a lot of your old characters really coming back. Even though if it was a cameo or they stayed a while, like we spent a lot of time with Beastman.
My wife's favorite character was the cat.
Oh, Battle Cat.
What's his name?
Green Cat's name.
Oh man, it's gonna kill me.
Please excuse us. We'll put it up top so we all know, or wherever you put it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was caught me off guard. He spoke. I don't remember that from the original show, but I think he played like a supporting role. And when Prince Adam was turning He-Man, remember him running?
Yeah.
Like he didn't want to turn the Battle Cat. But it was cool.
Who was your favorite arc?
I really enjoyed Beastman and Lynn.
Okay.
He was like there to protect her.
Only.
Right, and like he played no games. Don't touch her.
Mm-hmm.
And he attacked you. But he also played the same role, like with Evelyn trying to go with good side, we'll say the good side, and he was there too. Like he just went wherever she went.
I like that the villains and the good guys were supposed to be teaming up for the
same
same goal.
Because they were both,
magic
they were all
fuels
suffering.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And
the sword idea was neat. I think. Oh, I'll say the coolest part to me was when you were in the heaven. I wrote it down because I knew I'd forget this name. Paternia, which equals heaven, basically. It was all the old He-Men of the times.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was neat. You met Grayskull.
Oh,
the original.
Allstate.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're in good hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think they excellent cast. Like there's a ton more voice actors that are in a ton of things. Like they're throughout the whole series. Kevin Smith did great. getting together, writing a story, reviving a series that you have that fan. We're in that field now where everything's coming back around anyway.
And I think that you see a lot of Hollywood get the picture that movies are dying. And a lot more high-ranking actors and actresses are realizing there's real money in voice acting. And that's why you're seeing this influx of all these famous people doing all these animated shows. And I appreciate that.
I love it.
Why can't an A-list star do a voice actor?
It's like, oh, I know that guy's voice,
exactly.
or I know her voice.
And it makes you that much more invested in the show you're watching.
When's the last time we saw Sarah Michelle Gellar on anything?
Yeah.
Right. Now she's back. She's Tila, a very strong character, a determined character now. She's grew when we watched her in 5 episodes.
Man, the sexual tension between her and Adam. Oh my God.
Well,
can we just, I know, and see? It's PG. All we could do is,
you want to see him slam her down? I don't understand.
I have the power, and then he lays her down, and,
Great.
And then all of a sudden, TVMA. And I'm like...
So, now, we'll start with you. I want your thoughts, your rating of it.
Okay.
As in our last episode, or in our last review of Jujutsu Kaisen, we've changed the scale from a tier system, S to D. We'll recap the rankings as we go on. You'll see them. But now I want to know, you came in blind, knew nothing of the Masters of the Universe, nothing of the story. I texted him on a Sunday night and said, I think we should do this show. And then here we are doing it. And I was very excited.
I would give season 1. Now, I did
half of season 1. So we might recap and then maybe merge them together once they come back and maybe give it a rescore.
All I can do is review what I watched.
And 5 episodes.
Okay. Before I watch it, and I do this for every show, I go and I see what the general barometer is.
Okay.
And because I don't want to waste my time. This show got terrible reviews.
Yeah, so bad that
from critics.
I went to sleep and he sent me a screenshot. And basically, to me, that was like, do we really need to be doing this?
Well,
do we want this on Layman's review?
I'm pleasantly surprised that it's not as bad as the reviews.
I think they were harsh to it. Yeah. I think some were giving it a 5, so 5.5.
It was IMDb scores were terrible.
Yeah.
If I had to give it a score on our tier list, it would be in the C category.
Great. I think that's where I was going to place it.
I think it'd be in a C.
Comfortably. We're half a season. Can the other half bring it around to being a B?
Exactly. That's what I was going to finalize and say. It doesn't mean that after the next 5, I can't then think that it should go to a B tier. But from what we've gotten right now, it's a C tier. And that means I think it's better than the reviews it's
watchable.
Getting. It's definitely watchable.
He watched all 5, didn't turn it off, and knowing nothing of Eternia.
Yeah.
So,
and do you disagree?
No, I'm on board because I pull episode 1 out because it just set the basis.
It got us back into like that, right?
Yeah, it got us back into it got you into it. It revived the 80s. Mm-hmm. We had such a lapse of time, almost 40 years that He-Man's been around. But it was weird because I was out at a retail establishment and I was wondering why He-Man toys were coming back. And now I found out.
Marketing!
Yeah, which is fine. I didn't, we didn't bring He-Man thing. I probably will. Maybe a tasteful Battle Cat.
That was a review of Masters of the Universe.
Revelation!
C tier.
C tier. Worth a watch. It took 2.5 hours to watch the whole half of the first season.
And we might get the second half of season 1 relatively soon because I believe at the time of recording, they've already finished it.
And I think it's doing well. If it's on top 10 of Netflix, it'll probably stay there for another week or so. So I think that's a good way to put it.
If you like what we're doing here, guys, like and subscribe. We love you a long time.
And let us know what you thought of this Masters of the Universe in the comments below.
And we'll catch you next time.